Hello, grade 9. Today our lesson is section 2 of chapter 4, overview of photosynthesis. The key concept of our lesson is the overall process of photosynthesis produces sugars that store chemical energy, which means photosynthesis is a process where plants use to make sugars by converting the energy from the sun to chemical energy stored in the sugar they produce. As you see here in this food chain, the plants are producers where they use the energy from the sun directly to convert it to chemical energy in the sugar they form. Then a grasshopper eat the plant, so the grasshopper will get the energy that stored in the sugars from the plant indirectly from the sun, as well as the chicken and the human being. So some organisms get their energy directly from the sun, and some organisms get the energy indirectly from the sun. But overall, all of the organisms depend on the sun as the main source of energy. So directly or indirectly, the energy for almost all organisms begins as sunlight. Another example of a food chain here, as you see, here is the wolf which eats the deer, and the deer eat the grass. The grass make its own food by using the energy from the sun. Now, the animals that eat only plants obtain their chemical energy directly from plants, like the deer. Animals that eat other animals and bacteria and fungi that decompose other organisms get their chemical energy indirectly from the plants. When a wolf eats a deer, the tissue of the deer provides the wolf with a source of chemical energy. And the deer's tissue are built from its food source, which are the sugars and other carbon-based molecules in the plants. So the sugars are made by photosynthesis. Now, photosynthetic organisms are called producers because they make their own food, make their own source of chemical energy. Plants are producers that make photosynthesis, and during photosynthesis, this process, the energy of the sunlight is captured to make the sugars and stored as chemical energy inside the sugar. Plants need photosynthesis for their growth and development. Now, the main organelle that is responsible for this process, which is photosynthesis and making food of the plant, is the chloroplast. Okay, this chloroplast contains of a pigment called chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll is a molecule that absorbs the light energy from the sun. In plants, we have two types of chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, and both are found in the organelle, which is the chloroplast. Of course, we have the plants have in each cell many chloroplasts to make the food of the plant, and the chloroplasts are mainly found in the leaves of the plant. Now, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B, they together responsible to absorb most red and blue wavelengths of visible light. So, but neither type absorbs much green light. So if I ask you now to describe the importance of producers and photosynthesis, why they are important? Because photosynthesis enables producers to capture energy from the sunlight and make sugars that store chemical energy. The food produced becomes source of energy for the non-producers, like consumers. Now, photosynthesis in plants occurs in chloroplasts, and it takes place in two parts of chloroplast, grana and stroma. We said grana is made of stacks of coin-shaped, this is the grana, okay, coin-shaped membrane enclosed compartments, and these called thylakoids. Inside these thylakoids is the chlorophyll and other light-absorbing molecules and proteins. And the stroma is the fluid that surrounds the grana inside the chlorophyll. During photosynthesis, there are two stages that happen. The first stage is called light-dependent reaction, which means these reactions depend on the light presence. And this mainly happen in the thylakoid part, in this part, the thylakoid part. Now, thylakoids contain chlorophyll, in which this chlorophyll can absorb the sunlight energy, okay? And the water molecules are broken down to release oxygen as a first product of the photosynthesis process, and energy will be released as a result of breaking down the bonds of the carbon molecules. This is enough for today. We'll continue tomorrow. Take care.